Okay. So you talked about how the learning loss was so large, but with breaks in between the same school year, it'd be difficult for students who are perhaps in AP classes where they're going to have to, remember during the whole year. And if there's breaks in between that year, they're going to forget the subjects they learned before. They have to keep reviewing and keep it in their heads if they're going to have, all these breaks. And then you also mentioned the children who are hungry and that rely on the school food to eat. But there's also a lot of welfare programs and government assistance. And also, if parents are not feeding their children, it shouldn't, be the school's problem to feed the children. It should be their own problem. And if a child is going hungry during the summer, then that should definitely be reported to someone, and that child might need to go to, a home where they will find food. And also, you also mentioned how 3 or 4 weeks for summer is enough. But personally, I spend most of my summer out of state and at the beach and traveling, and this next summer I'm going to be visiting colleges and all that and preparing for, life away from home, which is what students should do, because, college would be a huge adjustment if they never, left the house. And there's other ways to achieve more for like at-risk students and for, state testing. And there's other ways to boost up scores for test scores than year-round schooling. There should maybe it's the teacher's problem. Maybe they need to step it up some, and maybe there should be special test booklets or those specific issues. Year-round schooling is not a good idea because many communities in the United States disagree. If the taxpayers do not agree with the schedule, then there shouldn't be a switch. Summer is important for students, parents, and faculties. So, yeah, as I said, 4 weeks isn't enough. Most research shows no evidence that there is a difference. The studies I saw and found said that there was maybe a slight difference between the test scores and academic achievements, so it wouldn't be worth the switch. And then also, many counties that switched to year-round school went back to the traditional calendar. Obviously, there was issues with it. Parents might not have agreed with it, so they went back. And that's happened frequently throughout many counties in the United States. There are too many negative attributes to even consider year-round schooling and leaving the traditional calendar. Maybe there is a middle between, maybe starting schools earlier, but having all those breaks and completely rearranging the schedule would be too much, and it would be a hard adjustment to follow. Thank you for considering that year-round schooling is not the right option for counties in the United States.
All right. So you mentioned that people should just report welfare, which is true, but it's just like abuse. Like, it happens everywhere. It happens around the U.S. And I know it's easy to sit there and say, well, why doesn't someone just report it? But there's no way you could dig through millions and millions of people and find every single case. And sometimes people are embarrassed. They don't want to report their embarrassing situation that maybe they can't afford a meal for their children, but it's a matter of pride, and some people just have a hard time admitting that I can't feed my own family. So they're not going to find every case. And like I mentioned before, this isn't a foreign concept. Right now, there are currently 3,181 operating year-round schools in the U.S. that have been so for over the past year. These don't include schools that may have just switched. So they've been operating for a while. According to the National Association for Year-Round Education, more than 2.3 million U.S. public school students attend year-round schools currently till maybe not this exact date, but till very recently this month. The National Association for Year-Round Education also says that the percent increase in year-round implementations is 544%. That is a lot just in the past couple of years. So people tend to start the school year with readiness. Like I said, it's the first day of school, maybe you have your new outfit picked out, your new book bag, and you're ready to learn and you're focused, but if you don't have a little break, all you really have is Christmas break at the end, or maybe Thanksgiving break. And that's a long time to hold out. And once you get closer to that break and you know it's one of the two big breaks you have, you start to kind of drag yourself, and it's harder to focus and it's harder to pay attention, and you think about where you're going to be going for break. So these little breaks in between are going to help you just mentally stay prepared to learn more. There won't be such a rush to include everything in. I know now with snow days, with extreme weather conditions, teachers are really rushed, especially this year is a perfect example for AP students. Yeah. Teachers are very rushed to push everything in, and they start putting in double the notes in one day because maybe they feel they're pressured for time. And that doesn't help. That definitely doesn't help us students learn more. It just makes us more confused. So this is an easy fix to that. Student performance improves, just like I'd mentioned before. According to the California State Department of Education, the district incurs fewer capital costs, and they save insurance costs, and in addition to all this, they have less vandalism. So there's something new to think about. Reports from the same Department of Education show that standardized test scores increase with an average of 9.5 in grade 3 and with an average increase of 13.3 in overall reading scores. A review of 39 studies confirmed that, as I mentioned before, summertime learning loss, specifically indicating that students' test scores dropped over summer vacation, and their mathematics performance deteriorated more than their reading performance. And I know that's critical in a lot of jobs. National competition is becoming fierce, and we are America, and it's vital for us to keep up in this big race of inventing new things, and I know China and Japan, their students are very smart and they go to school a lot, which that's not what I'm suggesting. Finland is ranked number 1 within a group of 34 nations that were ranked. It's ranked first in math and science, and it only has 190. We have 180. So we don't necessarily need to go to school on the weekends all year round for long hours a day. We just need to make sure we take this year-round calendar and make the best of our day. So speaking of this study with 34 nations, in this study, American 15-year-olds ranked 14th in reading, 17th in science, and 25th in math. So you might think, but that's not too bad for the whole world, but this is only 34 nations. So we're pretty much in the bottom, 40th percentile in math in that study, and that is definitely not okay for us. CNN declares that we need year-round schooling to basically just even compete in the world today, not even to get to the top, but just to compete. So that's really important to be able to keep up with, all the other students of the world and all the nations around us. So basically, to wrap up, the big picture here is that any chance America has to improve its quality of education, it should jump on that chance. Every chance that we have is worth it, and this plan does not come with 100% guarantee. Nobody can tell you that, but isn't any opportunity for our students and our children and our future, any small opportunity, isn't that worth it? So with all these things in mind, just keeping those things in mind, thank you judges and thank you audience for this opportunity, for your time and effort in listening to our debate today.
Thank you.